This is Justin Scoop for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Take a look at SPX and looks like we're really following along with what I talked about yesterday. Please go back and watch that video. We gapped up slightly today and immediately got some sell off, went sideways, and then had a great just pause or rest right here, broke down, retested it, and then collapsed. That was a great sell off here. If you were able to get in some cheap puts like the 66.25, they really move nicely. There was even an opportunity, maybe, and an option would have filled at $1. That's very possible. So doing an absolute zero, buying at $1, stop at zero, it could have multiplied that by quite a bit. It actually made it almost up to 11, the high here, 10.9. And then that pulled way back all the way to a low of 1.1. So you could almost have that same entry again later. It didn't quite touch the purple line here. It did earlier on this one. But we kept making inverse hammers right off that purple line here. This is, which moving average is this? This is the 100 moving average. Didn't quite get that high here, but still just looking for it to get close to that level, looking for a similar price on the put. That would have been phenomenal. The calls, this is the 66.50 call. So you got that sideways chop. Actually, that was a pretty expensive option at that point. That was really expensive. I was more so looking at, come on, way down here. Let's see. I can get one on the screen. I was looking for an opportunity to be buying around one. Nope, that didn't really work. And then it collapsed right through that price at 66.50. So you'd have to be looking at a different option. As it's coming through here and the lows like 1.6, 1.62 does it again. It did have a nice move up, but if you're looking to buy for $1, you've got to be a little less expensive on the option, which means probably the next strike, which would be the 66.55 call. That one might have worked. But that would have been like kind of going counter trend. The day today was much more bearish. And so if you're looking to get in and be buying down here, it's like, well, what's happening there to tell you to buy other than just a bunch of bear candles in a row and quote unquote it should reverse, right? Let's look for something that's a support level, something. Oh, wait, yeah, I talked about that yesterday. So let's go back out here. I talked about getting back into some of this range over here, and we actually took that out. So please go back and watch yesterday's video. We took that out. Totally makes sense that we will take this out and people will be getting embarrassed, but there'll be, some, it might be a little bit of a trap there. I don't remember talking about that yesterday, but I was looking for it to get below these lows. It does look a little better on the hourly. So if I switch over to the hourly and zoom back in, so here were the bear candles here. This is the previous, two candle pullback here. And we took that out with this candle, got a close below with this single candle, but we did have some other bear candles leading into it. So this is right around that same level. You could say we took out this low, made a new lower low because we did come over here with this bull candle, but we kind of held it. This is a really good rest. Let's see if we have some more. So bulls are coming in. Let's see if we have some more trapping and get a bear move again tomorrow, or even a gap up and sell back down. I don't know. This is a little bit of selling. 2 days, relatively large bear selling days. Go back to the 3 minute on this one. Zoom back in on this. We'll switch over to the daily. That's the other chart. So yeah, we haven't had two like solid looking body candles in a bit. Oh, that's moving along. Let's see. So that one was the announcement day. Probably this. Well, that one, a lot of buying there. 2 days right next to each other. Probably more so like these two. Um, we actually had, very similar range, or at least one being kind of within the others open, or the second day being within the other days, or the previous day's open. This one, a massive gap up, made a huge high of this candle and sold off all day. That was July 31st. Trying to think what was going on that day. I remember there was a great day to be in to have some long puts and get out of them the next day because they really made a great move. Um, but where it's just two, looking for just two that have kind of that downward pullback. I'm not seeing any recently. It's been a bit. of time. Maybe these two. No, this one didn't open inside of this one. Um, yeah, maybe some of these in here. This would be a good example. And that just kept on pulling back. This is going way back. This is going back to February of this year. And that turned into a lot of selling. That was a lot of selling. So we pretty much rallied since all of that. So I'm not suggesting we're going to have a massive pullback like this. I'm saying, well, for what we've been doing, oh, lost it. There we go. For what we've been doing, we've just pretty much been going up, maybe a little bit of resting. This is actually showing some sustained selling. We're actually below the 5 exponential here. We've been above that. We got below it here, got, actually closed below it here and here, and then bounced, got back above it. We've been above it for, I think that's, yeah, pretty much most of the month. We had a couple days over here we pulled back into it, but then we still closed at or above the 21. So, that day we trapped, that day we trapped. So I guess the next place to look for something to happen is interact with the 21. And if we get below that, the last couple times we've been below it, we've trapped and gone back up. But that would be a good target if we can keep selling down. So take a look at yesterday's video, see what else I said about that. We took a small look at a couple of the options in here. I think we covered everything. Hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.